Hey guys, welcome back to 4 Builds, and today we shall review a brand new build. It's right behind those garage doors behind me. You want to take a look? Let's go. Ta-da! There it is. Well, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what is it? Now, if I show you recognize these, most European, I guess, viewers will. It's a Citroen. It's a Citroen Berlingo. It's my new shop truck. The Citroen Berlingo is Europe's answer to the Americans' Ford F-150. No, only kidding. The Berlingo is a minivan. The Citroen Berlingo is my new shop truck. Not quite what I imagined for myself. I wanted to get something bigger, a pickup, something like along the lines of a Ford Ranger or a Ford F-150, but I had to settle for this. Reasoning behind that is fuel prices in Europe are currently going through the roof. Now, a Ford Ranger or a Ford F-150 for that matter have quite large engines which burn a lot of fuel. This has a 1.6 litre turbo diesel engine which burns bugger all fuel, as they would say in Australia. Apparently it can get down to about 4 litres for 100 kilometres. So you're pretty much running on fumes. So I thought this might be a good alternative for the time being to buy and use instead of my current Peugeot partner. Now, this has about 94, I think, horsepower, something along those lines. It doesn't really matter. You will say that's not much, and it isn't very much. But if you compare that to my old Peugeot partner, which has 56 horsepower, well, baby, this is gonna zoom along. So I actually be able to drive the freeways now and enjoy the speeds of 120 k's which are allowed on the roads in Poland. And to boot, it's also got air conditioning, so summertime is not going to be a pain in the ass, or actually a sweat in the ass, as it has been up till now. Well, you say the Peugeot isn't all that bad after all. Well, it does come with its little, I guess, negative side. It's been hit on the right hand side quite badly. No, I wouldn't say it's bad. Let's maybe take a closer look at the damage that's there. Starting at the front, well, as you can see, the bumper is smashed. So the bumper is cracked, needs to be replaced. The right headlight is also smashed. Another thing that took the hit is the power steering pump. That also needs to be replaced, as currently power steering does not work. The rebar and all the cooling system is fine though. There is no issues with that. It holds its fluids very, very well. It doesn't spew them everywhere. The front support structure or the member is also fine. That looks all to be okay. I do need to get a new, I guess, the overflow reservoir tank for the cooling system. There's supposed to be a sprayer bottle reservoir here. Obviously that's gone. I do have the pump for that though. The pump is here, which is great. The connections to the front headlight are fine. Obviously the hood is smashed, the fender is smashed. These pieces need to be replaced. On the left hand side there's also a little bit of damage on the fender, which after speaking with my body man, with the body shop that I normally use, we can get that out. The front windshield needs to be replaced because it's all been smashed up. Now let me maybe lift up the hood and show you what's going underneath there. Okay, so when this car was actually involved in an accident, obviously something just seems to come along here and it's whacked it there, pushed the whole wheel back. So if you actually have a look at the wheel, wheels tend to lean in on the top, whereas this one is leaning out. Having a closer look, the apron is obviously all bent up, and what's also happened is the strut tower has taken a bit of a hit and that needs to come out. So that needs to be pulled out. Once again, spoke with my body guy or the body man. The strut needs to be pulled out to get this corrected. Okay, going along further, also the mirror has taken a bit of a whack. So the cover is actually cracked. I guess the support is also cracked. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to weld this. If not, I'll just get a brand new mirror or a new mirror or replacement mirror, maybe not a brand new one. And also the actual mirror component is missing. On the inside, as per norm, we have the passenger and the driver's airbag that's blown. The passenger seat belt has locked up, so that needs to come out and be replaced. The driver's side seat belt is fine. Now the beauty of this, the whole dashboard does not need to come out as with all the other builds. What basically does need to come out is this cover, which holds, I guess, the airbag behind it. So what we need to do is just get this out and also get the airbag out from the steering wheel and get those fixed and replaced. And so what I'll do today is actually disassemble all that, get all those airbags out, and go tomorrow and get those bits rebuilt. So there is the other, I guess, pros of me buying this car. First of all, well, because it's actually smashed, it was quite cheap. Second part is my Peugeot partner, well, that's actually starting to, well, might not fall to pieces, but you know, things are starting to break. Now, for me to actually go and start fixing it, it's going to take obviously a fair bit of money to get that fixed. So I figured it's a better investment to buy a newer car and get that fixed up. I think I really like about this car is the space and the storage it actually has. So let's take a quick look and I'll show you all the bits and pieces, all the storage bins this car has. Starting with the door cards, you got this one storage space here, another storage space here. You have a drink storage space right there. Something I haven't really seen before. Behind the actual driver or the steering wheel, you have a storage space right there. Passenger side, you have a storage space right up top of the dashboard and the glove box. The door card, there's a little storage space there. Storage space right there, which you might not be able to see. There's a big center console pocket on the top. It's got glass panels. It's got storage space right there. In your rear, first of all, you've got these rear seat trays, so kids can eat and make a whole mess in the rear seats. In the floor, you've actually got these storage bins. There's two of these, one on each side. These storage spaces here. Storage space at the top here. There's another one of these pockets right there in the rear, so you can actually open these and put stuff in there. Opening the rear trunk, rear tray, you can put stuff on. You've got this drop down, which is connects up to those sliders that I showed you on the other side. There's quite a large rear space. Rear seats can be folded forward to make quite a hefty space in the rear to allow me to pick up all sorts of parts for the builds and the projects that I have. And these can actually be taken out of here individually. You can take this whole seat out, remove it from the car, and then you have a whole lot of space to be able to hold all sorts of things. As you can see, after taking a seat out, all the space becomes very flexible. So guys, as you can see, that's what really convinced me to buy this car. It's very flexible in terms of the space, how I can use it. How I can probably even take the family to the beach within this. It's got roof racks. It's got those cool little windows in the roof. So it's although quite small, or at least looks quite small from the outside, it's actually quite roomy on the inside. I thought, well, why the heck not? Let's grab this and let's make this into our next project. Next things I normally do, guys, is I grab a pad and I start writing down all the parts, all the part numbers of the bits and pieces I need. Plus, when I actually look at the project initially, what I do is also start looking at the prices, something it might cost, evaluate if a project is worthwhile for me to progress or not. It needs to be worthwhile for me to actually buy a smashed car over buying one that's not smashed. The numbers make sense on this, they still do. Plus, looks like I'm actually getting some of the things a little bit cheaper. Hopefully, it'll come out cheaper than what I budgeted this to be. But for you guys, if you are planning on doing such a project or buying such a project, make sure you factor all those bits and pieces in, so it doesn't end up costing you more than if you were to just go and buy such a car and obviously not have to do anything. It does have to make financial sense, unless you just do it for the joy of it. Okay, so let's get to work and start getting those airbags and that passenger seatbelt out, so we can go and get those fixed up tomorrow, so we can start putting this car back together. So let's go, guys. So before we start working on removal of the airbags, let's go and disconnect the battery. Alright, to take the Citroen Berlingo airbag, steering wheel airbag off, unlock your steering wheel and turn it to the right, so you see the bottom of the steering wheel here, and if you can see there's this notch, there's this little hole there, which you need to get a screwdriver in there and basically push that. This is wire that you'll see there, and voila, the airbag just pops out. So now we just got to disconnect it. There's actually a couple of wires. First one is as a earth wire, which needs to be disconnected. So this is a spade connector. Okay, well, with this connector, what we have to do is actually get it from the side, unprotect it, and voila, it just pops out. On the side of the passenger, in order to get the airbag out, we first need to take off the glove box. So there's 4 screws, T20s right there. There's one deep right there, and there's 2 underneath there, I believe, 2 or 3. So got to take this out, and then once we take the glove box out, we'll get access to this airbag, and we should be able to pop this whole thing out. Alright, so we've actually got the passenger side airbag removed as well. We need to undo those 4 T30 bolts that we needed to get to from underneath. And once we had that unscrewed, we disconnected this this electrical connector, and finally had to just pull out or tug on this plastic cover to get a quick camera from here. That's actually a really smart design. You can just remove the cover. You don't actually have to remove the whole dashboard. So the last thing we've got to do is just to remove this seatbelt, which is locked up. I'll put the airbags away, and I'll put the screws away, so I'll know what these are for, and make sure we don't actually end up losing it. Right, disconnect the connector by lifting up this tab in the rear, like so, and you can disconnect this entire steering wheel. I had to give it a really good pull on this steering wheel to get it out, but it's out. We'll go get it replaced tomorrow. Alright, so we've got the seatbelt removed.
It was a bit of a pain, I must admit. I haven't actually taken a seatbelt off in a Citroen before, so it was a little bit different to all the Volkswagen and Skodas and everything I've done before. But we got it done. So I'll pack this away, and tomorrow we'll get it taken away to be fixed.
Alright, I'm quite happy with the progress made tonight. All the bits and pieces I wanted to take off, we've taken off. Now we just got to pack everything away, and tomorrow we'll head out, go for a lengthy drive, get those airbags and a seatbelt fixed up. We'll go pick up some additional parts. I've got a hood and I've got a right hand side front fender. We'll go get those pieces picked up, and I'll take you along. So see you in a sec. And it is the next day here, and we're on our way to get the parts. I've already picked up the fender. I'll go grab the hood and also get the airbags and the passenger seatbelt, plus the steering wheel. So we'll get a nicely wrapped, or a nicely leather wrapped steering wheel to replace the current one that we have.
Okay, and we're back at the workshop. Half a day of driving around. I think I've done probably about 350 kilometers today. Just driving from place to place, picking up all these bits and pieces. So first of all, I visited our place and got those airbags redone. So take a look at these guys. And there's our passenger side airbag with the cover for the airbag itself. And also the seatbelt has been redone. After that, I drove to another location and picked up this right hand side fender. It's got quite a few scratches on it, so it doesn't need a paint job, but it doesn't have any dents in it. Apart from here, I think these scratches are a little bit deeper here, and I might need a little bit of Bondo. Then I drove and picked up this hood, and I got it for an awesome price. It is in excellent condition, except for this corner right here. It's got this small sort of dents, so it will need a little bit of Bondo there. Once again, it needs to be repainted. It's got a little bit of scratches, but obviously that will get sanded down and it will get repainted. And then lastly, I went and picked up the steering wheel. I didn't obviously have to do that, but our old one was, well, it was all worn out. It wasn't a great experience to touch it. So we've got a replacement wheel that's been covered with leather, perforated leather where you hold your hands, and I guess full leather on the top and bottom. And maybe let's put this airbag onto it. Wow, and that's going to be a much nicer experience for me as a driver. I'm going to be driving this car. It's a worthwhile spend to get this done, and I got it for a really good price. So what I wanted to do is once again get started and get some of these parts refitted, the interior parts refitted. So maybe starting off with the passenger side seat belt, the passenger side airbag, and we'll finish off with the steering wheel and the steering wheel airbag for the driver. Alright guys, so refitting the seat belt, the passenger side seat belt, is basically a reverse of the procedure to remove it. So we've got to seat the seat belt into the spot and obviously bolt it down, connect up the actual pyro fuse, then lead the actual belt through the loophole here, and then at the end obviously hook this up so it actually goes up and down, and then at the end bolt this eye down, and that really should be it. Now I haven't actually put this plastic cover back on. That's because I've broken these two tabs when I was taking off, or these two clips. So I want to get those replaced first. So I need to actually purchase some of these, get replaced, and then once I've got them in, I'll get that pushed back on. Okay, now that we've got the cable connected, and don't forget about the earth, gotta put the airbag back into its spot. Okay, make sure that putting it back in, make sure the airbag sign is the right way up. Once we've done up the screws, we need to connect the cables. Once again, please make sure your battery is disconnected. Got it. Make sure you put that latch in first, then followed by these. And with that, our glove box is done. Opens and closes. And now we can move on to the main piece, which is the steering wheel and the steering wheel airbag. So in order to get the steering wheel on, first of all, let's feed these cables through. The large one first and then the small one. And now just want to make sure that we get the splines aligned. There you go. Once you get it aligned, it should go on quite easily. And look at that, guys. Oh man, that feels so nice. That steering wheel, it just feels so awesome. The leather's really soft and brand new. Just wow. The experience practically of a brand new car at a budget price. And now it's a matter of getting the bolt in using a T50. And now we've got to do up the cables, and now it should be just a matter of pushing everything in its place. Make sure that none of the cables are going to get pinched. Try to align everything up and give it a good push. And there you go. Okay, so take a look at the steering wheel now. That's really has transformed the driver's seat. Obviously having the airbag back in and this awesome leather steering wheel. Wow, it's gonna be awesome driving this. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next episode, we'll focus on stripping all the damaged parts to make sure we've got everything that we need. There could be components which are hidden underneath, which we're not seeing without actually taking the reminder of. I hope you're going to be enjoying the new project, the 2010 Citroën Berlingo XTR. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like. Feel free to leave a comment. Love reading your comments. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.